All right, everyone, settle in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something absolutely fundamental to business. I'm talking about the invisible architecture that holds every single successful company together, its internal control system. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Accounting stuff, right? But this isn't just some niche topic for the accountants. Oh, no. This is a core principle of management, and it's what separates the companies that thrive from the ones that, well, collapse under the weight of their own chaos, fraud, and inefficiency. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to lay down the foundation of trust, why controls are the bedrock of it all. Then we'll break down the 4 core objectives of any good system. After we've got the theory, we'll see it in action in the real world. And of course, we'll talk about the common pitfalls, the mistakes I see new managers make all the time. And we'll wrap up by talking about your role in all of this as a future leader. Sound good? Let's dive in. Let's just strip away all the business jargon for a second. At the heart of every single business relationship, whether it's with an investor, a customer, or even an employee, it all comes down to one simple, powerful concept: trust. And look, this isn't some philosophical question for late-night debate. It's intensely practical. Think about it. When a company claims it made $10 million in profit, how does an investor really know that's true? When they say they have 1 million units of product in inventory, how can a bank lending them money be sure? See, trust can't just be built on a good feeling or a firm handshake. It demands a system, something real and verifiable. And that's where the internal control system comes in. Honestly, the best way to picture this is as the company's central nervous system. It's this complex, invisible network of processes and rules that make sure everything is functioning the way it's supposed to, reliably, ethically, and honestly. And yes, it's about preventing fraud, for sure, but it's also about preventing simple, everyday human error and stamping out inefficiency. It makes the whole organization stronger and more resilient. So the big question is, how do you actually build this system? It's not one single action, right? It's not as simple as just locking the front door at night. It's a comprehensive framework, and it rests on 4 distinct, absolutely crucial objectives. Understanding these 4 pillars is like being a doctor who can diagnose the health of any business you walk into. These are the big 4. These are the primary objectives of any, and I mean any, robust internal control system. Each one tackles a completely different kind of risk and responsibility inside the business. We're going to unpack the logic behind every single one, because let me be clear, as future managers, you will be held responsible for all 4 of them. Okay, pillar 1. This is the one that probably makes the most intuitive sense to everyone. It's about protecting the company's stuff, and that includes the obvious things, right? Cash in the register, computers on the desks, but it goes so much deeper. It's the inventory in the warehouse, and this is critical in today's economy. It's the intellectual property, things like patents, trademarks, secret recipes. And notice that word, mismanagement. This isn't just about someone stealing something. It's also about waste, damage, or just letting valuable assets become obsolete. Now, pillar 2 moves us beyond just playing defense. Good controls actually drive performance. They make the business run better, smarter, faster. Let me give you a classic example. Let's say there's a rule that any purchase over $500 needs a manager's signature. We call that a preventive control. Its purpose isn't just to stop someone from buying a personal big screen TV on the company card. No, it forces a moment of review. It makes someone ask, is this purchase really necessary? Is this the best price we can get? It pushes the entire operation to be more efficient. This third one, this is the absolute foundation of trust for everybody outside the company. Investors, banks, regulators, they all depend on the financial statements being true. If those numbers are unreliable, then every single decision they make about that company is built on a lie. And it's not just for outsiders. As a manager inside the company, you need those reports to be accurate for your own budgeting and strategy. It's the old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out. And finally, we have pillar 4. This is what keeps the company out of trouble. This covers a huge range of things, from tax laws and employment regulations to very specific environmental or safety standards for certain industries. A slip-up here can lead to crippling fines, lawsuits, and the kind of bad press that can destroy a company's reputation overnight. Let me be very clear. This isn't optional. This is the company's license to operate in society. Okay, so theory is great, but I find it always clicks when we make it tangible. So let's apply these ideas to a simple, real-world business that we can all picture in our heads. Let's imagine a little local coffee shop. We'll call it the Brew Cycle Cafe. This is where we get to see how these big ideas actually come to life on the ground. Look at this. This perfectly illustrates the transformation. On the left, you've got a recipe for disaster. It's a high-risk, chaotic environment. But on the right, look at how a few simple, smart controls create stability. Instead of an open cash drawer, 2 people count the cash at the end of the day. That's a cross-check. Instead of counting inventory whenever, it's now a mandatory monthly process. And this last one is so important. Please circle this in your notes. Separation of duties. The person who orders the coffee beans is not the same person who pays the invoice. This is a cornerstone control. It makes it incredibly difficult for one person to commit fraud and cover their track. And here's the crucial link. Do you see how it all connects? Every control is put in place for a reason. It's designed to fight a specific risk and serve one of those 4 pillars. The dual cash count, that's directly safeguarding assets. The purchase order process for the beans, that's driving efficiency by preventing waste. The manager reviewing the profit and loss statement, that ensures the reliability of financial reporting. It's all part of one interconnected system. Now, let's talk about the real world. As a professor, I've seen countless students and new managers trip over the same hurdles when they first try to apply these concepts. So I want to highlight these common mistakes right now so that you can avoid them in your own careers. Let's just cut right to the chase and talk about the single biggest misconception out there. Because if you get this one wrong, it can lead to catastrophic failures down the road. It's a mental trap that so many people fall into, thinking that controls are just one-dimensional or that there's someone else's problem. Okay, pitfall number 1, thinking controls are only about stopping theft. As we've just seen, they're just as much about driving efficiency and ensuring your data is reliable. Another big one is assuming controls are just for the accounting folks. No way. Your marketing team needs budget controls. Your R&D department needs controls to protect intellectual property. Third, the set it and forget it mindset is so dangerous. A business is constantly changing, and your controls have to evolve with it. And finally, and this is a huge one, assuming that a small business like our cafe doesn't need formal controls. The opposite is true. Their limited resources actually make them more vulnerable. All right, let's bring this all home. Let's talk about what this means for you. Not as students sitting in a lecture hall, but as the next generation of leaders, managers, and entrepreneurs. Because I promise you, this isn't just theory from a textbook. This is a core competency of leadership. I really want this idea to stick with you. A lot of people hear the word control and they think of restriction, of red tape, of being told no. That's the wrong way to look at it. A strong control environment doesn't stifle a business. It gives it a secure foundation. It creates a stable platform from which you can innovate, take smart risks, and expand with confidence. Think of it like this. Controls are the guardrails on the highway. They don't slow you down. They give you the confidence to drive faster. And this responsibility does not just belong to the CFO or the accounting department. I don't care if you go into marketing, human resources, supply chain, or operations. You will be responsible for designing, implementing, and championing the control systems within your team. You're going to be making decisions, and those decisions have to be based on reliable data within a controlled, ethical environment. It's on you. So I'll leave you with this final thought, this challenge. The next time you start a job or an internship, I want you to be observant. Ask questions. How are expenses approved around here? Who signs the checks? How do we track our inventory? Your ability to even ask those questions and to understand why the answers matter, that will say more about your business acumen and your potential as a leader than almost anything else on your resume. That's all for today.